Ha. Well, good morning. Good Friday morning. Good Friday morning. I feel a little bit like some kind of recovering junkie or something. No makeup, and I have like this cup of green tea here. I'm sitting here looking at this week's stream, trying to find a good clip for you this week. And I found this really nice one where we talk about how to move from being a developer that is just learning with tutorials and stuff, and then actually moving into like an actual job, how that transition happens, like where's that magic. And I also talk a little bit about how I got my job at Spotify back in the day, showing how my application looked like and my philosophy around applying for a job, stuff like that. It's a really good meaty discussion that I enjoyed having a lot, and I think you're gonna like it. But before we cut to it, I would like to thank today's sponsor, which is Brilliant. Brilliant is actually the perfect sponsor for this particular show because of their computer science interactive teaching thingies. I don't know if you should call them a course or if they're a tutorial or whatever. They're interactive learning experiences where you can learn computer science fundamentals, which is extremely important in many interview processes. Use brilliant.org/FFF when you sign up. Tells them you came from here. Also gives you a nice discount if you get the annual subscription. Thank you so much, Brilliant. Now on to career advice. Answer. What are the things that an interviewer looks for when he receives a lot of similar candidate skills? This is interesting. Oh, please feel like for the people in the chat that if you do scan CVs and stuff like that, please post your comments below, and I'll try to talk about my experience in CV screening. If I'm being quite honest, I was very surprised when I started out. When I first started like screening CVs in an application, at how low the bar was, how low the level was of people's ambitions and how ambitious they were with their applications. Let's see if I still have this up. So you can actually, I can show you my application to Spotify. So I made a special little website. You can go, post the link in the chat, but also at Spotify. You can find it at spotify.mpj.me. Spotify. MPJ on me. So here we have this. Oh, go away, please. There. Oh my god. And I just made a little site showing that I care a little bit extra. So this is sort of like a cover letter. And I picked some pictures that I found on the Spotify website. Made a little funny comment. Said here that I want to help you build Spotify, coding JavaScript all day long. I'd also love to work in Python because Python was a big part of their stack at the moment. It's just a little bit braggy thing, but also with a little bit of fun in there. PHP, but I will refuse to code in it. And a little bit of giving them a little bit of view of how what I'm culturally, that I've been around for a while, also that I'm all over the place. Started using Photoshop when I was 13 years old. A little bit about like my wide background, you know, like this showcases my skills a little bit, and but most importantly, it showcases, in my opinion, like that I really want this, you know. Like I'm one of the people that care. Like a person that really didn't want to work for Spotify wouldn't be able to make this. Also, like I couldn't have possibly made this kind of application for all the companies. And having it in a link like this also means that it can be shared around at the company, which was my idea, and it also was. Still in touch with the recruiter that picked me up regarding to this. He's a great guy, one of the good ones. Yeah, and oh yeah, and also made like they also had like this lottery puzzle that I made a Node.js solution for. And Andrew Lamavid, why did you quit your job at Spotify? Do you earn more now? One thing is that I care very little about money. I get extremely little motivation from that. I just find money so boring. It's actually like it's almost magic, like how as soon as money is introduced to something, I just lose all kind of motivation. It just starts feeling like a chore to me. So it's just like, yeah, money is, I don't know, it does something horrible to me. And I also realized like during one period where I was like when I got like, I worked for a small company that was acquired by BlackBerry, and the way that acquisitions work, and that they work like you get like a lump sum, and then you get a little lump sum later. And I had, up until that point, I had worked for several years in order to like pay back a big debt I had. That's why I got this job and these jobs in the first place, why I stopped being my own. And then I realized, like, hey, I paid off that debt, and now like I get this big lump sum, which is sort of making me stay in a company where I'm really not enjoying myself. And that's when I realized that not only can money be used to control you in the sense that you are indebted, but they can also be used to control you in the sense that people hang like this big lump sum of money in front of you in order to like just make you do things that you really don't want to do. Like you just feel obligated to take this money because, oh, you're so lucky that you're offering you this money. So like that's when I realized that I really should not be allowing that to control myself. Like from that moment I just resolved to be a person that, yes, I could not be manipulated or controlled that way. So it's just not really an issue for me. And whether or not I earn more or not depends on how you look at it. I'm certainly not pushing enough, like the same amount of money through my life. But if you look at like how much money I make per hour, it's like much more. Of course, depending on how you look at it again, like depending on what parts of your job you consider to be work. Like sometimes I just look at videos of how to do cool Twitch streams, and I don't consider that work, but maybe I should. Marie Lito, I found that recruiters, internal, external, are looking for specific technical knowledge with years of experience versus proven programming knowledge. How would a dev break into a job with another tech stack over someone with years of experience in that stack? Have you ever felt pigeonholed or moved backwards in your career? Okay. I have never found that competent companies do this. I have never found that competent companies go for like, we want React. For me, that has always been like a red flag that this company does not know what they are doing on a recruitment level. And it's probably like, you probably don't want to work there. If you're looking for a job, and you just need like the experience to get out there, or just like if you need money, then just learn those skills that they are looking for and like get a job at those companies. But I found that the software organizations that are worth their salt, they don't look for those specifics. And I mean, even so, like if you're looking at like technical, let's say that somebody like if a company was looking for Vue and I was like really interested in working for the company, then I would just spend like some time learning Vue, because learning Vue wouldn't be particularly hard for me, because I have spent so much time understanding like the underlying patterns of what React is. It's Vue is not particularly different. Like, and more and more in my career, I realized that there is not all that much innovation going on, to be honest. Like, I think that like when a lot of people say that, oh my god, new tools are being launched all the time and la 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 la, I don't feel that way. I feel like it's just this kind of like same old being launched over and over again. Like even the concept of templating languages is like just going back and forth. Like there was this templating language back in the day called Smarty, that was essentially like we had templating languages, and then we just found out, we don't need the templating language because PHP is a pretty good templating language. We can just use that and just be disciplined with our views instead. And now we're doing like the same thing with things like handlebars, which we are replacing with JSX. And then now, once JSX has gone popular, people are going like, oh, we should have a template language. And then the cycle begins anew. So it's kind of like, after you've gotten like experience in the field, like you just see that there's very little actual change. So try to like, it's always good to bet on learning like the underlying patterns, I think, really. Andrew says, have you also read the book Principles by Ray Dalio? No, I have not, but it's being recommended to me from 4 million directions all the time. I will read it soon. It's one of those where like it's been recommended so much that I'm thinking about not reading it just to be obstinate. But yeah, Peak says, in my opinion, languages are trivial. Learn paradigms. That's a good one. Iron Mac asks during the chat, anyone in chat working as a dev? How do I go from learning JS, HTML, CSS, from tutorials to actually finding a job? What's the next step? Oof, this is a tricky one. I think that a lot of people struggle with this. Yeah, I think that we need some kind of support system for that. I'm really bad at at answering that question myself, because I've never quite been in it. I just started I just started my own company. I just started I just built a thing, slammed my head against it until it existed, and then I launched it, and then that was my job for 2 years. And but what if you do if you don't have, if you're not an entrepreneur? Jay suggests that to apply for every junior developer position you see and take whatever you can get. Oh, probably not a bad idea, yeah. Ronin suggests build stuff and put it on GitHub. Ronin says build the stuff in the tutorials and put that on GitHub if nothing else. Iron Mac asks does recruiters value that kind of stuff? And Jay says that you don't always need recruiters. Yeah, I think that's true. Darko says that recruiters send proposals to everyone. I wouldn't rely on them too much. Yeah, you have to understand that being a recruiter doesn't mean anything. Like, anybody can be a recruiter. Like, because now Isa, my girlfriend, she's also a software developer, she just updated her, they had like salary reviews and stuff at their company, so her title was now officially put as senior developer, and she made the horrible mistake of putting that on her LinkedIn, which just results in this horrible influx of horrible I'm not saying that all recruiters are bad, but there is a lot of bad recruiters, like people that just go, that have not read anything. It's nuts. It's the level of anybody could be doing a better job. This is just email-y people. It's silly. So don't. They are not needed. They're just people that they are just trying to get you have to understand that in development, if a recruiter gets your contact info and forwards that to a company and they end up hiring you, that recruiter gets paid around $18,000. And that bounty might be even higher in some cases. And this economic dynamic means that there's just basically a lot of random people becoming tech recruiters trying to get at this thing. And this is especially lucrative in tech because people in tech, they're very afraid of this little thing. Very afraid. They think it's so scary to call and talk to people. If you're a person that isn't afraid to call people, then you can make a lot of money by just doing that. And just get out there, just talk to people, go to meetups and interact with people. It's great. So being social is amazing. It's tiring, yes, but it's also good for the heart and it's good for your career. And just get out and do that. And you don't need recruiters as much as you think. DFN KT open source works too. I did that for my first 6 months, and then I used that on my resume to get a dev job. Wow, that's cool. That's really cool. I've heard this recommended a lot, but I didn't. This is the first time I'm hearing somebody with your track record to say something like that. Can you talk a little bit more about what you did in practice? What project you contributed to, and more importantly, how you found it? There was an open source Twitter clone that implemented the O status protocol for federating between people so you owned all your data. It was done in Ruby. I fixed bugs from the issues list and I was active in the IRC channel, learned a lot about working in a team, communicating, and the entire Git workflow, branching, pull requests, etc. That was in 2010 and I've been coding since. That's cool. That's so cool. Like I got into, when I learned web development, I hung around a lot in the SitePoint forums. Open source was not really a thing back then. So instead I ended up like helping out writing articles and helping people on the forums and helping out with moderations and stuff like that. But I think that if I gotten into development now, that it's probably what I would ended up doing. Something like that. That's such a cool way of getting into development, and it makes a lot of sense that puts moves you into development. That's really cool. Plateri says, create things, anything, challenge yourself. Yes, I agree with this. This is how I got started. I just used programming to I just brainstormed and thought about things that I wanted to exist, and then I just slammed myself into those problems until I figured out how to do it. Like ask questions in forums, like how do I do this? How can I approach this? And eventually just learned. Clark, thank you so much for subscribing. Means the world. Thank you. Katsing says, I have a computer science degree, but I got my last job because of a board game related app I built and showed the person hiring me. So +1 on the build something and posting it online. I love that. SlimHS points out that there is a great website called Pramp to practice with others in order to prepare for an interview. That's really cool. Didn't know about this. What is this? Pramp? Pramp, let's see. Interviewing, the most profitable skill you can learn. Don't miss out on great opportunity. Practice live interviews with peers. Start practicing, it's pretty cool. Biscuit says, so God, I'm so late. No! Biscuit, you are arriving just in time. Like, the stream doesn't really start unless you're here. People are talking about Code Wars in the chat. What is this? What is Code Wars? Achieve mastery through challenge. Improve your skills by training with others on real code challenges. Sharpen your skills. Gain collaborative wisdom. Oh, we can create our own katas. How does this work? Oh, wow. This code does not execute properly. Try to figure out why. Return. Heh. Passed. Cool. Another good one that I like, similar to Codewars, is Codesignal. Nico Nimmer says applying everywhere is okay, but you need a filtering system. I'm much more of a apply with great determination at a place you really, really want. I'm that kind of guy. And then when I apply, there's at least 5 people at the company who knows that I'm about to apply because I've talked to them and I've done all their things and I've been to all their meetups and I've they know me as, oh, that annoying guy that really wants to work here. It's bad for salary negotiations, I give you that. But I'm more of a I just have this rule that I never accept a lower salary than at the previous job, and that's it. That has served me well, and most companies tend to accept that. Iron Max says, thanks for all the insight, guys. We're so happy to help. This is I think that this is exactly what I want these streams to be about. Like, it's so nice to just have somebody post like a question, have something that we can assist with, and everybody is swarming and helping you. Like that's amazing. Niku says, I was talking about a junior developer who was trying to get his first job. The thing is that the first employer can make or break your career, so you should be a bit picky even if you really need that job. That's tricky, yeah. I mean, my first paid job that wasn't like my own company was not all that good. Like I was like this consultant that were like they just dumped me on a big paying customer place, and like the assignment that I got was like this horrible assignment that had been passed around all over the place because nobody wanted to do it, and I was way over the head of a junior developer to do. But I was a tenacious motherfucker, and I did it anyway. And it was also like my first time working in a real workplace, so I was a little bit of a cocky motherfucker. I stepped on a lot of toes, and I wasn't the easiest person to work with. I think could have been a little bit more humble. Understanding context a little bit more. Catsync, thanks MPJ and everyone. Nice to have a chill chat to start the week off right. As usual, I would like people in chat to give us a quote to end off the stream on. There we go. By Robert Tables. This will finish off the stream. It is possible to commit no errors and still lose. That is not a weakness. That is life. Captain Jean-Luc Picard. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great week. Back from the future to the future. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to check out our sponsor if you're thinking about learning some computer science fundamentals or machine learning or employable skills like that. Go to brilliant.org/FFF. That tells them you came from here and also gives you a very nice little discount if you sign up for the annual subscription. If you're new here, do check out this playlist to see a little bit more about what this channel is about. Or if you're already there and you think that, oh, this channel is good, you can click here to subscribe. I am MPJ, and until next week, stay curious.